The Waste Quip compactor that you're about to use is designed to help your company efficiently manage industrial material compaction and disposal. The equipment is easy to use and maintain. It meets all of the standards for safety established by the American National Standards Institute, or ANSI, and it offers clearly marked warning labels, easy to read and easy to use control components, and easy to follow step-by-step written and video instructions on the proper use and maintenance of this equipment. However, all of our efforts to ensure safety when operating or maintaining this equipment can fall short without simple common sense on the part of the operator or maintenance crew member. To put it bluntly, compactors are designed to crush and compress. That alone should serve as a warning to anyone that improper use or failure to follow safety procedures at all times could result in severe injury. If, after reading the instruction manual and watching this program, you are not clear on the safe operation and maintenance of this equipment, do not use it. Contact your supervisor or safety officer for additional training or clarification. If, during the course of your use, the equipment becomes damaged or appears to be working improperly, do not use it. Contact your supervisor to request a maintenance check. And if during the course of your use or maintenance of this equipment, questions arise that could compromise your ability to work with the equipment safely, do not use it. Contact your supervisor for answers or additional instruction. Remember, safety is number one when it comes to using or maintaining your Waste Quip compactor. Follow precautions and procedures carefully, and you'll find the system to be a valuable tool when it comes to efficient industrial waste disposal. Before using your Waste Quip compactor, it's important to be aware of and follow these added precautions. First, the law states that you must be at least 18 years old to use or maintain the compactor. Next, ensure that the area around the equipment is clear whenever it's in use or is being serviced. Don't allow material to hang out of the compactor where it will interfere with proper closing of the gate or door, or with operation of the ram. Don't attempt to adjust material while the compactor is closing or is in operation. And during operation, bits of debris may fly from the compactor. Do not watch the compaction of materials and stand clear of the equipment when operating. In spite of the precautions and guidelines, the Waste Quip compactor actually boasts simple and clean design and is extremely easy to use. On the outside, it consists of a compaction compartment and a basic control pendant. But it's what you don't see that makes the Waste Quip compactor a powerful tool for industrial waste management. Solid-state features are in place to monitor and control operation to help ensure safety, reliability, and solid performance time after time. Let's take a look at what you have working for you. The Waste Quip compactor's programmable logic controller, or PLC for example, is control central when it comes to system operation. The PLC senses the state of switches, buttons, and the operating system to control the action of the compactor, including direction of the ram, activation of system alerts, and emergency shutoff if needed. The PLC controller also eliminates the need for pressure and limit switches to operate the system. An LCD display on the PLC control displays messages to show service personnel the current operating status of the compactor. A pressure sensor replaces the pressure switches typically used on older compacting equipment. The pressure sensor monitors hydraulic oil pressure and sends a signal to the PLC controller to alert the operator of the system status. 4 different pressure functions are detected. And finally, the PLC controller has a standard power on indicator to let service personnel know that the system is receiving power and is ready for operation. Your Waste Quip compactor may also have come with a number of optional features that can help to tailor operation to your particular needs. Override operation, for example, is an optional feature that allows an industrial waste hauler to pack out or pin off the container after the container is full, from a location that's separate from the operator's controls. Turning the hand-off auto key selector switch on the override hauler's controls to the off position will disable the compactor and eliminate the possibility of material being pushed onto the ground while the container is detached. The optional RAM Stop Extended feature simply ensures that the RAM is in the extended position when the compactor completes its cycle and the motor is shut off. The optional multi-cycle feature allows the compactor to move the RAM through the forward-reverse stroke cycle more than once on each activation. The number of cycles can be adjusted within this program to allow as many as 4 forward-reverse stroke cycles when the compactor is started. The optional low-oil, high-temperature shut-off sensor protects the hydraulic components of the compactor from damage caused by operation at low oil levels or excessive heat buildup. If the oil level drops to dangerously low levels, or if oil temperatures rise to over 164 degrees, this sensor will signal the PLC to stop the compactor. If this happens, the emergency stop light on the operator's control pendant will flash on and off in half-second increments to alert the operator. The PLC will also prevent the compactor from running again until the oil level is returned to a safe level or the temperature of the oil falls below 164 degrees. An optional photo eye is available to allow the compactor cycle to automatically start when the charge chamber is full enough to block the photo eye beam for a specified period of time. An optional oil heater kit is suggested for facilities where the system will be exposed to cold weather in order to reduce the stresses on equipment caused by operation in cold temperatures. Now that you're familiar with the tools you'll be using, actual operation of the waste whip compactor is easy. But before beginning, it's important to be sure that only materials that are safe to compact have been loaded into the compactor. In other words, no hazardous materials, no combustibles, and no explosives, including pressurized cans, should ever be compacted. Not only could these items pose a danger to operators if compacted, but disposal of hazardous materials is heavily regulated and monitored. Also, before attempting to activate the system, be sure that all material is fully loaded into the compacting compartment. Material that extends from the compartment can interfere with proper compacting, and it can pose a risk to anyone that might be hit by hanging debris when the compactor is activated. Note that the waste whip compactor requires a keyed startup to help prevent unauthorized or inadvertent operation. Simply insert the key into the switch on the operator's pendant. However, if your system includes the optional override hauler control pendant, you'll also want to be sure that that controller switch is in the auto position to be sure you have full control at the operator's pendant. The hauler's key is removable in the auto or off positions. The controls will only allow either the operator's or hauler's station to work. The compactor will not start from the operator's pendant if the hauler's key is not in the auto position. Once in the auto position, simply turn the key selector switch to the start reverse position to start the motor and activate the reverse motion of the RAM. The RAM will move in reverse for about 5 seconds, at which point the directional control valve will shift and move the RAM forward until the forward timer in the PLC expires. The directional control valve will then shift again, and the RAM's direction will move into reverse until the reverse timer in the PLC program expires, at which time the motor will shut off. If at any time during the course of operation it becomes necessary to stop the equipment, simply press the emergency stop button located on the operator's control pendant, and the motor will stop and all other devices will be disabled. Release the button and the system will again be ready for operation. If your unit is equipped with the Hold to Operate option, the emergency stop button is changed to a Hold to Operate button. This added safeguard will require operators to press and hold the button in order to operate the compactor. Releasing the Hold to Operate button will immediately turn the motor and all other devices off and disable the compactor until the button is pressed and held again. If the power unit on your waste whip compactor encounters an error, the emergency stop button will flash on and off. Contact a service technician to address the error and clear the error light. However, the compactor may still be safely operated in the manual mode until the service technician corrects the error. To operate the compactor in manual mode, turn the key selector switch to the start reverse position to start the motor and move the ram in the reverse direction, or turn the key selector switch to the pack out forward position to move the ram in the forward direction. Keep in mind that the operation in manual mode should only be done until a service technician can address the reason for the error. Operating the unit without having repairs made could damage the power unit or compactor and lead to more extensive problems. As we mentioned earlier, the Waste-Quip Compactors PLC uses special sensors to ensure proper operation and to alert operators to specific operating conditions. Your Waste-Quip compactor uses a pressure transducer to sense hydraulic oil pressure, which is directly related to the amount of pressure needed to compact material. When the container is full, it requires more pressure to compact the material. After 2 consecutive forward strokes at the container full level, the PLC will shut the compactor off, alert the operator of the full status with steady illumination of the red light on the operator's control pendant, and disable the compactor's automatic function. To turn this light off and re-enable the automatic functions after the container has been emptied, turn and hold the key to the pack-out forward position until the light turns off. Your Waste-Quip compactor may be equipped with an optional 3/4 full pressure indicator that will trigger the red light on the operator's control pendant to flash slowly when the system has detected the 3/4 full setting for this compactor on 2 consecutive forward strokes. Once the light begins to flash, it will continue to flash until the container full pressure is sensed, or the container is emptied and the compactor cycled again. If your involvement with the Waste-Quip compactor is limited to basic operation, you have all of the information you need for safe operation at this point. Again, if you still have questions, refer to the owner's manual, review the video, or contact your supervisor or safety officer for assistance. If, however, your duties extend to basic maintenance and minor repair of the compactor, be sure to carefully review the following procedures. Individuals assigned to perform basic maintenance and minor repair of the Waste-Quip compactor must carefully review the maintenance sections of the owner's manual before working on the equipment. And of course, it's critical to follow safety procedures at all times. Waste-Quip recommends that a regular schedule of monitoring and maintenance be followed for this equipment to protect against failure and to address wear and tear of components before problems occur. Before attempting to perform maintenance or repair of any kind, however, it is critical to conduct full lockout and tagout procedures. These procedures essentially disable or lock out sources of energy that can cause the equipment to move while being serviced, including electrical, hydraulic, potential and kinetic energy that could cause parts of the system to move unexpectedly. Waste-Quip also suggests that the control circuit fuse be removed as a secondary precaution to prevent the compactor from being started accidentally. Also, double-check the circuit breakers to make sure they are off. Proper lockout and tagging will help to ensure that no one else inadvertently turns equipment on while you're performing maintenance or service procedures. The basics for a lockout-tagout procedure are outlined here and in the equipment manual. However, it is both your employer's and your responsibility to develop, enforce, and practice a lockout procedure for your specific installation. We recommend that you follow these procedures each and every time maintenance or service is performed. Number 1. As always, be sure you understand and can perform all lockout and tagout procedures before attempting to work on the equipment. Number 2. Tag the equipment using approved lockout tags to let others know that it is out of service and should not be operated. Number 3. Use the appropriate lockout device on the electrical supply, and be sure others know not to reactivate the power supply without confirming that repair has been completed and it is safe to do so. Number 4. Inspect the equipment for stored energy, such as hydraulic pressure that can cause components to move unexpectedly. Number 5. Lockout tags and lockout devices should only be removed by authorized individuals after service and repairs are completed. Once lockout and tagout procedures are complete, it is safe to conduct your maintenance procedures. The following components should be monitored on a weekly basis. Check oil level to be sure it is adequate, and add a compatible petroleum-based oil as necessary. Hydraulic hoses and fittings should be checked for damage and leaks. Hydraulic leaks may be easily corrected by tightening fittings or replacing the hoses. Damaged parts must be repaired or replaced before placing the compactor back into service. Check to be sure the problem has been corrected by checking for leaks again after completing a full compacting cycle. Dust and dirt should be cleared from the outside of the control box. Similarly, grease, oil, and moisture should be wiped from the power unit. And WasteQuip suggests that maintenance personnel observe at least one complete compacting cycle to verify proper operation of all components. Maintenance personnel should conduct more extensive monitoring and maintenance procedures on a monthly basis. WasteQuip suggests that equipment be visually inspected for potential problems such as cracks, oil leaks, or loose bolts at least once a month. Early detection and correction of even small problems can help to prevent more extensive problems later. Clean refuse from behind the ram at least once a month to reduce the likelihood of interference with components and to help ensure proper operation. Check to be sure all fittings that require regular greasing have adequate grease. Regular lubrication of ram contact surfaces will help to ensure smooth movement and longer life. Although weekly oil level checks are recommended, maintenance personnel should check the condition of the oil on a monthly basis. If oil becomes discolored, dirty, smells burned, lacks lubricity when rubbed between the fingers, or shows signs of water, change the oil. The vibration caused by operation can sometimes cause pins and bolts to loosen over time. Check to be sure cylinder pins and retaining bolts are in place and securely tightened before allowing operation of the equipment. And keep in mind that the pressures needed to compact material can also cause wear and tear and stress fractures of turnbuckles and binder hooks. Check to be sure these components are in good order before approving equipment for continued operation. Annual maintenance should be conducted, even if there are not apparent problems, to help ensure that all components continue to function properly. At least once a year, hydraulic oil should be drained, the system flushed, and refilled. Replace the suction strainer each year when the oil is changed to help ensure proper oil flow and reduce the risk of contaminating the new oil. Be sure to check all fasteners and tighten as required. Replace the air breather to ensure proper ventilation of the oil tank. Visually inspect the compactor structure for excess wear or structural problems that could lead to failure. Even the smallest crack must be repaired before returning the compactor to operation. Check anchor bolts and tighten or replace if needed to ensure that the compactor is securely attached to the floor. Although all of the procedures listed above should be conducted as scheduled, it is important to conduct a single 3-month checkup on your equipment after initial installation to be sure systems are operating correctly. Visually inspect the compactor for signs of excessive wear and tear. Clean out excess refuse behind the ram. Check to be sure the compactor power unit is still properly anchored to the floor. And if applicable, check the hopper door for smooth and easy operation. Check all electrical connections to the control box to be sure they are securely attached. Make sure all switches are properly adjusted and securely fastened. If your equipment has a return oil filter element, replace it. Check the hydraulic oil level and add with a compatible petroleum-based or biodegradable oil if needed. Check the condition of the oil and replace it if needed. Check the pressure settings and relief valve setting to be sure they are in line with the pressure settings included in your owner's manual. If you are unsure as to how to check settings, review the procedure in your owner's manual or contact a qualified service technician. Apply grease to the ram contact surfaces, door or gate hinges, and ratchet turnbuckle. And cycle the compactor to verify proper operation of the unit and all of its components. Although we've reviewed basic safety, operation, and maintenance procedures in this program, it's important for anyone charged with operating or maintaining the equipment to thoroughly read the owner's manual and address any questions before working with the compactor. The owner's manual and video combined offer everything needed to perform basic operation of the Waste-Quip compactor. The manual also provides more extensive information for maintenance personnel on everything from proper setup to detailed troubleshooting guides that can help to identify the sources of problems and determine whether problems can be corrected in-house or require the assistance of a qualified technician. We're sure you'll find the Waste-Quip compactor to be an easy-to-use and valuable tool for industrial waste disposal. However, if after reading the manual and reviewing this program you still have questions, or if you'd like information on other Waste-Quip products, contact your Waste-Quip representative.